Hi, everybody. I am live. All right, let's just get things set up here. All right. Let's see here. All right, that's not what I want. All right, there I am. Live. All right, let's just get set up here. All right, everybody. Hi, Mimi. Good to see you. I missed you today. And Betsy, you're back again. Very nice to see you. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Oh, I am just coming off of a busy day. I do not know where all the time goes. Is there an echo? Is there an echo on the connection, Lisa? Hi, Veronica. Hello, Pat. All right, what are we talking about? Harnessing your personal power. Hey, Anna. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. I'm just going to share this quickly. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay. This is so weird. Why does there was an echo, but not anymore? Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right. Share via Twitter and WhatsApp. Okay. I don't know what the deal is, but Facebook keeps changing things. More options. Or maybe I'm just senile. Oh my goodness. Okay, join me for my Facebook Live. All right, everybody. So we're going to talk about, like, how do you harness your personal power to, like, what are ways in which we can harness our power to, sorry that dating sucks. And yes, Luann, the dogs are ready to go out. They're a pain in the butt, but it does go in cycles. It's true. So let's talk about, like, attracting the love of your life, and things that you all can do other than just going on dating sites and focusing strictly on the dating piece itself. What else can you do in order to work on your dating life, but not just specifically going on dates, right? There's a lot of things in our lives that are all interconnected. And sometimes we don't even realize how important all of these other things are. We may be working really hard at one thing, and it may be hard to see how there are other pieces to the puzzle in our life that are affecting every part. I forgot who said that it's a holographic universe. Does anybody know what that means? That we live in a holographic universe? When you take a hologram and you cut it into many pieces, that entire picture, whatever was on the hologram, is in all of those pieces. So if you took a hologram and hi CL, good to see you again. If you took that hologram and you cut it into a million pieces, and it was a hologram of a chair, you'd have a million tiny little chairs. And it's the same with our life. We live in our whole life is holographic. So whatever is affecting one part of our life affects, yes, Lisa Cohen for the money. Whatever affects one part of our lives affects our entire life. So if you make changes if you lose weight, let's say, like one of my big issues and something that I'm looking at right now because I've got a really big, important photo shoot coming up and I want to look fabulous for it. I'm doing something that is a huge challenge for me. I'm losing weight. And I decided to go on Noom and just use Noom. It doesn't matter. It gives me a structure. I log in my food every day. They tell me how many calories I can have. And it just keeps me conscious and aware of what I'm putting into my body, how much I'm eating. But as a result of doing that, it is absolutely extraordinary how it's affecting other parts of my life as well. Right? Thank you, Lisa Cohen. Because I lost 4 pounds and I feel 4 pounds lighter, right? And it's affecting, like Benjamin said to me, he was like, your energy is so different. You just feel lighter, you're happier, you're more upbeat. And I feel good because, I'm taking control over a part of my life where I tend to lose energy, and I'm bringing this energy back. Thanks, Sharon. But, it's really amazing how sometimes something isn't working and it's almost like we keep pushing harder on the door, right? The door isn't opening, and our solution to bad dates, to something that isn't working in our love life, we keep pushing at this door that won't open. And then we, get more frustrated. It gets to be a drag and whatever. And there comes a point where we need to know when to get up and take a break, right? To take a break, to let it go. And I'm not saying disengage and not do it, but it's okay if you're struggling, if you're having a few hard days. Hey, it's fine if you take a step back and you just give yourself a little break and you shift your attention to something else, right? Maybe that's like what a vacation is, right? A vacation is when we get a break from our life. And sorry about the dogs, everybody. We're having a sofa moved into the house. But, we're so over focused often on making one thing happen in our lives that we don't even realize that the very best thing we can possibly do is just get up and walk away for a little while. It doesn't mean quitting. It doesn't mean you're not good at it or it'll never happen or whatever. But sometimes the solution is just to know when to walk away. And that is one very simple way to free up energy in your dating, right? Just to free up some energy. Give yourself a break. Take some time off and go and focus on something else. Our lights were, our television was offline and we couldn't watch TV. And at the end of the day, I don't care if it's even just for 30 minutes, I need to sit in front of the TV and just let my brain go, right? Not think about anything. So I recharge in front of the television. But it wasn't working. And so we had to go figure out something else to do because that's just my habit. And interestingly enough, I went and laid down on my bed and I just spent time petting my dogs. And it was so wonderful because I realized that I could get even more joy if I took a break and went and laid on the bed and petted the dogs as I do sitting in front of the television. But I freed up energy and I saw a new possibility. So sometimes you just have to take a break. You need to know when to pause and shift your focus to something else where you can recharge. Go take a bath, call a friend, don't do something. Milo, come here, honey. Come here, Milo. Oh my God. That's my 14-year-old Shar Milo. Anyway, hello. Hi, Oliver. Are you going to help me with my Facebook Live? Okay, everybody. This is my handsome son, Oliver. My beautiful. See just how you can shift your focus? Like, that's a nice little break just to lean over and see Oliver there and focus my full attention on this beautiful animal and then come back here, right? It's like having a vacation, a little break, but that's sometimes what you need to do with dating. You can't keep pushing at the door. And if it isn't opening, then, oh, thanks, Lisa. If it isn't opening, then sometimes it's good just to step back and reevaluate and look at things from a new way. Maybe ask yourself some questions, about your dating. Do a little bit of, exploration. How can I approach this in a new way? If what I've been doing isn't working, what else can I do? What can I do differently? Can I open up? Thank you. Yes, he did get big fast, Kirsten. And, but you want to look at taking a break and just stepping back and then looking at it with fresh eyes. So what I really want you all to do, just to practice this, because I think it's going to be magical for you. When you feel like you're pushing on that door, when dating isn't working and you're doing everything you can, right? Take a break. Just let it go. Don't look at your apps for a day or two, or even a week if you feel up to it. Just let it go. Focus on some other things that you've been wanting to get done. Shift your energy, your attention, and then come back to your dating and ask yourself, what can I do here? What can I do differently? Are there things, that I can maybe open up my search range? Maybe I can go on a new site. Maybe I can tweak my profile. Maybe I can get some new pictures, maybe I'll have a friend sit down and go through profiles with me and just see, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I just absolutely keep my hands off and sit there and let my friend kind of go through and just listen without, oh my God, or making a comment, but just letting your friend kind of show you, oh, this could be an interesting guy, or that could be an interesting guy. I mean, imagine doing that, right? And you're not there to be right. You're not there to argue with her. You're there to learn. Maybe your kid will go through profiles and say, Mom, this is a great guy. Why don't you give him a try? He looks like he'd be a really nice one. If you have a son, maybe he'd sit down with you and look at profiles with you. Do you all see all the unique things that you could do? Like the really fun, unique ways that you can shake this all up. You don't have to keep pushing on a door that won't open. So you take a little break, you come back, and then you do it differently. Other ways to harness your power, and really open this up for yourself and stay engaged so you all don't burn out with this is, like I was saying before, look at the things in your life that are affecting your dating. I always go back to my weight because it was my biggest hurdle. And the truth is, until I really confronted my weight issue, there was no way I was ever going to be able to attract the caliber man I really wanted. And it's because as long as I was angry at myself and I didn't love myself for my weight, I couldn't accept that a man would find my body attractive because I didn't think it was attractive. It didn't matter what anyone else said. I didn't think I was attractive. And so how was I going to go out and confidently attract a wonderful man? I couldn't. It's, they canceled each other out. And so one of the ways I really harnessed my power was I faced that issue head on. And here's what I know about life. If you're going to actually change something, you got to be in it for the long haul. Milo, hold on. Dave, Milo's being really loud. Can you get him? He's bothering my Facebook Live. So sorry about that little interruption. Yeah, so my energy, I mean, I knew I was kidding myself, thinking that I was going to be able to attract the kind of man I really wanted when I was so unhappy with myself. And so what I did was I decided to really get serious about changing my weight, about dealing with it. I decided that I was going to actually face this and get it solved. And what I told myself was I wasn't going to quit until I solved it. Like, I knew that this was preventing me from bringing a wonderful man into my life. Now, some people may be able to say affirmations and talk themselves into feeling good about themselves, but the truth was I was disappointed in me. I didn't feel beautiful because I was letting myself down, and I knew it, and I had to face this. And so what I did was I joined a 12-step program because my dad's an alcoholic, and I knew that compulsive eating can be an addiction. And I knew if I was going to face this and change it, there was no superficial fix. There was no Band-Aid. There was no miracle healing. It's not like one day I was just going to decide to not stuff my, what do they say? Like eat my problems or whatever, stuff my problems down, my emotions down. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I'd tried that approach enough times to know it doesn't work. And so I went to a 12-step program, and I was in there for 4 years. And it was really, really hard. It was really hard. And it challenged me in ways that I would have never imagined. And I grew up, and I faced my weight issues, and I opened up a whole new world for myself by dealing with that. And I felt so good about myself. I found my self-esteem. I became more attractive to me, which was important. And then I went out, and I felt like I was ready to date, to start dating. I knew I wasn't ready for the relationship I wanted, but I knew I was ready to start looking for it. And when I dated, so many people, I think, are under this illusion that we're just going to get lucky and, because God loves us so much, we're going to run into the right guy. Well, I can tell you that if you have emotional blocks, those emotional blocks are going to continue to keep the right guy away. It's not like the right guy's going to show up and you're going to be like, oh, emotional blocks, I don't need you anymore, right? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We have to have the courage to take our emotional blocks, our walls down. And so I knew, that I had emotional walls. I wasn't kidding myself. And I think most of us do. One of the scariest things in the world is falling in love and opening your heart to someone and having them walk away. Feeling like you love this person, like you've shown him parts of you that you don't show other people, like he knows you, and then he just walks away. And that's heartbreaking. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what would have happened if I lost Benjamin. He's the most wonderful man I ever met. And it was a leap of faith for me to be able to go into that relationship because I'd never been with a man like him. I'd never been, had somebody of his caliber, of his refinement of his, you know, self-awareness. This man was amazing. And he liked me. And it was scary to step into that relationship because I knew how amazing he was. And I knew I might get hurt if he decided that I wasn't the right woman for him. But I couldn't have done that if I hadn't lost all the weight. I would never have found the self-esteem. And so how did I harness my personal power? I looked at the things that were blocking me from love. I took them seriously and I dealt with them. And I got them out of the way so that I could have what I believe is the most beautiful thing in life. A truly loving, healthy, peaceful, passionate relationship with a wonderful partner. Like, there is nothing more beautiful than that. Nothing. So I share a lot of this, partly because these are ways to free up our power, but also, I want you all to hear how seriously I took this and how much work I did to have it. None of this just happened in my life. I really worked hard to have it. I looked at everything about myself that I didn't like. I took off all the Band-Aids. I stopped hiding from me. Most of you are hiding from yourselves. You're not just hiding from men. You don't want to look at you. You don't want to look at the dark side, the things that, the things that you're not proud of, the things that you've done that you hope nobody finds out about. If you can't really forgive yourself for those things and accept those parts of you, it is impossible to get emotionally naked in a relationship with a man that you really love and that you want to see all of you, right? You can't expose the parts of you that you feel that you're ashamed of, if you're too afraid to do that. Brenda said, I need prayers concerning a relationship I'm in. I'm scared and I don't want hurt again. Brenda, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on there, honey, but if you want to tell me a little more, I would love to know what's going on and maybe we can talk about it a little bit. That's what I'm here for. So, yeah, if you want to share a little bit more about your situation, I would be more than happy to give you some feedback. Liz says, I let my guard down and opened up. Liz, that's amazing. Who did you do that with? Was this a man that you're dating? And what happened? Like, was it an opening to something deeper, something more beautiful? What happened? I'd love to know. I would love to know. All right. And anyone who has questions, just feel free to put them in the chat. So my whole life has been about having true love. That's what my entire life has been about. It's been a journey to find what, I have come to call the guardian of my soul. And I did that by learning how to get emotionally naked, first with myself and then with a man. And it is, it's hard to do because just like when you take your clothes off, right, in front of a man, you're aware of all the issues with your body, all the things you don't like about your body. And for a lot of us, especially women, because, our looks are so overvalued, whatever, there's so much pressure on us to look a certain way. When we take off our clothes in front of someone, we often, we suddenly are aware of everything we don't like about our bodies. Well, when we get emotionally naked with someone, it's even more scary because these are all the personal things that we don't, that we're ashamed of, that we don't want anyone else to see. And here's what happens when you're in an intimate relationship with someone and they're up close and personal a lot of the time, they're going to see all of you. All of you. You can't hide the parts of yourself that you want to hide. Even if you wanted to, they'll see them. They'll see through you. And it takes so much courage to just be in a beautiful, evolved, just a really wonderful relationship, because to have that requires that you accept the parts of yourself you don't love, so that you can really be yourself in front of a man, right? Like I had to, even your freaking ugly feet, Simone, that might be the only part of you that's ugly. But when you start to truly love and accept yourself, you give yourself the freedom to be you, right? To just be you, not even just with a partner, but with your friends, on a Facebook Live like this. I mean, how do you think I can come on these Facebook Lives and do this? It takes a lot of courage. There were points in my life where I could never do something like this. I would have been so worried about what you were all thinking of me, if I would say the wrong things, if I was going to get hate mail. I mean, it was a nightmare to open up to anybody because people weren't nice to me and I wasn't nice to me. So I was really scared. I had a lot of shame. Brenda says, I was married 41 years to a cheater, been divorced a year. My ex married 2 months. Oh God, married 2 months after the divorce. I don't feel good enough for the man that tells me he's in love with me because I have a wall up and I need to know how to handle it. Thanks for your advice. Brenda, first of all, I'm so sorry that happened. And it might hurt you very much that your husband not only cheated on you, but then went out and got married 2 months after the divorce. I can only, I'm imagining what that must have felt like for you. And you really need to understand cheating and cheaters and what happened there. It's really important for you to open up your mind and really start to look at what went wrong there in your marriage. And I don't know if you're blaming yourself. I don't know if you feel inadequate, like he cheated because of something you did, something about you weren't enough for him. If you're running that trip on yourself, you need to do some work to understand why men cheat and to let that go. Things happen in marriages. There's lots and lots and lots of reasons why people cheat, and they can be very it might have had even if they cheat because there's an emotional disconnection in the relationship. That's usually the number one reason people cheat, because there is a disconnect emotionally between the couple. They're not communicating, they're not connecting emotionally. They don't feel safe talking to each other. There's fighting, there's discord, or there's stonewalling. And often one partner will go outside the relationship to get his or her needs met. It may start as an emotional affair, and then it can evolve or devolve into a sexual relationship. But that's one of the ways it happens. And, it's not that two partners aren't enough for each other, but many people are not really taught how to handle conflict in relationships. They don't know how to do that. We just get into relationships thinking that we're going to naturally know how to do these things, and that if two people love each other, they're going to have great communication and they're going to be able to compromise, and all those things will come naturally. No, they don't. They don't come naturally. If they did, people would couple up and everybody would live happily ever after. Those are skills that many of us have to learn. Our parents didn't model those things for us, and we have to learn them. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of reasons why couples drift apart or one person goes outside the relationship and cheats, but you're going to have to forgive yourself, and yeah, you're going to have to forgive yourself and forgive him if you can for what happened, and learn the lessons that you need to learn here and move on. You can change this going forward. Even if there were mistakes that you made or things that you could do better, which in most instances, that goes for all of us if there's a problem. But you need to just do some work there and clear that up. You may get some coaching from a coach who, specifically deals with divorce or cheating or whatever. That might be a great thing to do. And it might not even take you that long with a great coach or therapist or someone. But I would just look to heal that first and put the pieces together and look at what went wrong and understand how to do better going forward. And then, yeah, then I'd come work with me and let me help you find love. So Pat says, had good relationship, 13 years, good self-esteem, and then he cheated. Now single for 11 years, how to regain trust. Pornography was hidden, have learned that is definitely, and yes. Yes. Pat, you need to look at what you're holding on to here. I know it's devastating to have somebody that you love cheat on you or, have watched porn and all, but, life is sometimes about learning that we can give it our very best. We can do our very best. We can be our best. And sometimes, things will happen. And bad things, hard things. But it's learning how to learn. It's about learning how to grow and learn from those experiences. So, part of what you need to do here, your self-esteem may have been built on that marriage. It may have been built on some illusions, some things that you need to reevaluate about people and life and you, but you're going to need to open up and look at, and let this go, find a way to make peace with it, forgive him, and know that the future can be anything you want to make it. Anything. If you can let go of the past, learn your lessons, and move on, man, the future can be anything you want. I remember when I was sitting in in Milan, Italy, and it was one of the darkest periods of my life. My now ex-husband and I, we were in a hole. Like I was stuck. My life was going nowhere. He was a pathological liar. I was codependent. I mean, it was just a nightmare. And I found my way out of that. I got myself out of it. I didn't want to go down that road. I didn't want to stay in that dark, dark place. And I felt like I didn't want to keep living a life like that. And I decided, that I was going to figure out how to create a better future, a different future. I mean, that was a choice. I didn't know how I was going to do it or, what was going to happen. But I made a choice that I didn't want to be miserable and I didn't want to be stuck in that same place. And you're going to have to figure out how to let this go, learn what you need to learn from this. If you need coaching or therapy, get some outside help to help you process it. Hi, Kaylee, how are you? I'm always so happy when I see your name there. Brenda said, Lisa, you have taught us we need to look inside and identify what we are gaining by holding on to the past. Exactly. 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 You have got to, you've got to look at what you get out of holding on to the past. Like when we do that, thanks for bringing that up, Brenda. When we hold on to the past, why do we choose to stay stuck? Like we don't have to. Do you all realize that anywhere else in the animal kingdom, when an animal has a scare or something, whatever, most animals, they let it go. They process it, they feel it, and they let it go. But they don't keep reliving the same things over and over and over again. That's unique to human beings. We're the ones that do that. Dogs, cats, buffalo, they let stuff go. They don't sit around. Eckhart Tolle said the best thing, yes, pastime is a waste of time. One of the things that I love that Eckhart Tolle said was that you never see a pissed off duck. He's swimming around the pond and one duck runs into another duck and they're like, wah, 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 and they go like that, and they don't hold on to it. They just let it go, right? But human beings hold on to things. We don't learn our lessons. We just keep reliving the pain, the suffering over and over and over again. Don Miguel Ruiz, he wrote the Four Agreements, and he was, one of my spiritual teachers for many years. Miguel, what did Miguel say? What was I going to do? I just lost my train of thought. Oh, he said, the biggest addiction of all is to drama and suffering. Freaking drama and suffering. We love our drama. We love to get together with our girlfriends and like talk about our bad dates and how everything sucks. How hard dating is, how there are no good men, whatever, right? And we love doing that stuff. We love going down the rabbit hole and just feeling awful. I mean, and we choose to do that. Or we can really look at something, go through it, learn our lessons, you want to know how you learn your lessons from men don't do it, Simone. It's more of a female behavior. That's a great point. Yeah, they go outside, they, fight it out, and then whoever wins, they man up, they shake hands, and they move forward. What book would you suggest some tools to start to learn how to compromise? Any books work? Well, Codependent No More is the classic with codependency, Alicia. I don't know that there's a better book out there. You just have to it's all related to alcoholism in that book, but, it applies to everybody. It applies to all of us. How to learn about compromise. Oh, you could look at some of John Gottman's stuff. I think that's probably the best thing I could come up with for that. I think the Gottmans do, talk a lot about relationship stuff. That's wonderful that you found a coach, Kaylee. That's really terrific. So yeah, we are addicted to drama and suffering. We get off on it, and it creates a lot of emotion for us. And, it's like manufactured emotion, but so many of us, we really love it because there's a feeling of aliveness, of out of controlness, of edginess. to drama and suffering. And it's miserable because I spent so much of my life there, but yeah, it's miserable, but it's got these ups and downs and whatever. It's like it's like doing drugs. It is a drug because there's so many hormones that kick in when you go through all of that. And so there's a feeling of aliveness. And many of us really are not comfortable with peacefulness and quiet. Yeah, it's hard for me, Stephen, and I don't say this, in my relationship with my husband, we never compromise. Like, we never have to talk about getting to a compromise ever. Like, we operate from the perspective of, what do we both want? Like, what works for both of us? That's how Benjamin and I approach anything that we're doing together. Like, what can we do that will make both of us happy? And it's beautiful. Like, we just dance in that space. And if there's something that I want, but it really pushes, like, it would just not work for Benjamin, then we just go, okay, what else? How else can we solve this? But yeah, we don't push our agendas on each other. We never feel like we're compromising. Simone said, get physically tired and it will clear your mind. That's how I coped with the passing of my husband. So I'm not sure I fully understand, Simone. Get physical tired and it will clear your mind. I think you're saying get tired and it will clear, like, get exhausted and that will clear your mind. That's fascinating. I really want to hear more about that. I've never heard anyone say that before. So that sounds really interesting. Yeah, but, I think I lost my train of thought again. Do a lot of sports and hike. Okay. Like, physically exerted, like really exert yourself physically, wear yourself out, and that'll help clear your mind. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Yeah, I don't, I'm all over the place tonight, guys. I'm so sorry. But I do want to go back to, like, just harnessing your personal power. So anything that you can do to sort of, even if it's like losing weight or whatever it is, facing anything, like asking for a raise from your boss because you feel like a lot of your energy is just, going in that direction, or, anything, getting, working out, getting in better physical shape, making more friends. All of those things are going to make you a better partner, and they're going to, a more desirable partner, a better partner. And pick up a hobby, something that you're really excited about. A girlfriend of mine, her coach said, you need a hobby. And she started beading, and she made these gorgeous, gorgeous necklaces, and she wears them all the time. She always has the most beautiful jewelry that she made, before she found her husband. But it was another way for her to express herself and feel good about herself. And, and then she brought that back into her dating, and it helped fuel her dating process. So I would look at things that you can do that are going to free up energy and make you feel even better about yourself, who you are. Maybe there's a relationship in your life that you feel awful about, and it drains your energy because you look at that relationship and you don't feel like a good person. And there's a voice in the back of your head that, like, says, Why would anybody want me? I'm a horrible friend, or this friend rejected me. Maybe you see if you can reach out to that friend and repair the relationship, or at least write a letter, and own your part in it. I know what I was going to say. That the key to all of this is owning your part in things. So when it comes to moving on, letting go of the past, you cannot change other people. You can sit and regret that other people didn't change, but you can't change them. They're going to change or they're not going to change. They're going to grow with you or they're not of their own accord. The only part of any situation is that you can change yourself and your response to what happened. You can change your behaviors and you can change your response, your perspective on that situation, but you can't change the person. So the way to heal and move forward is to take responsibility for what you did, for your part, take ownership of it, whatever it is. Say, these are the things I did. This is what, I said. This is what I did. This is how I contributed. This is how I hurt myself by staying too long, by trying to convince him to change. You've got to look at your part and not just blame it on your partner. And when you do, then you have the power to let go and change and move forward. It doesn't mean there's not pain. It doesn't mean that you didn't get hurt or that you didn't hurt someone, but it means that you can own your part. And when you do that, like I started to make a practice, anytime I was feeling awful, I would just say, Lisa, what's your contribution to this? What did you do? How can you clean up your side? And the minute I would do it and the quicker I did it, and it became kind of a challenge for me. I did it, I purposely challenged myself, and to do it faster and faster and make it a more automatic behavior. But man, like I used to get so upset about things. Everything would bother me, I was just like waiting. I would get upset about the littlest stuff. And then, almost nothing upsets me anymore. I can just go inside and work it through and really work my own process and get it solved quickly. But it starts with being able to take responsibility for your part. And I don't mean blame yourself. It's not about like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That's stupid. How could you be so dumb? Why did you stay in that for so long? No. It sounds more like, wow, you really stayed in that a long time, but you needed to be there. You weren't ready to leave. And yes, now the next time you'll leave sooner because you learned, and you're not going to stay, and you're not going to keep pushing against a door that won't open. If a man can't do what you want, or if you don't feel that your relationship is growing or that he's there for you, you can walk away sooner. That's what you'll do next time. And it's not, so you can talk to yourself in a much kinder, more loving way. You're not making it right that you stayed, I don't make it right. Like I wish I hadn't stayed 13 years in my relationship with my ex-husband. If I had a wish list, do I wish I had figured it out sooner? You bet. God, if I had known what was on the other side of that, where I'd be in my life, how amazing my life could have been, I wouldn't have stayed in that a moment longer than I had to. But a lot of us, we stay in things and we suffer, and we just continue to replay negative scenarios, and we keep suffering, and that can end at any time. And if you only knew, what's possible for you and your life, and you really believed in your heart of hearts that you could freaking have this, you wouldn't waste another moment. I send out all these emails all the time to a lot of you, and one of the things I talk about the most is time, that we don't have time to waste. When you find your amazing partner, even if, you live a long and healthy life together, you will not have enough time. You'll ask my friend Simone, you will never have enough time together, and you never know when that time is going to end. And you don't want to miss 1 second of it, because being in love and having your true partner, man, it is the most amazing life imaginable. There is no end to what my husband and I will do together. Thank you. But we have had the adventure of a freaking lifetime. We've gone to Mexico and Morocco and Greece and God, I'm just trying to think. We just moved our entire lives from LA to Santa Fe. It's amazing. And we did that like that. We didn't sit and deliberate and, one of us was fearful. No, we just freaking up and switched it up. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you can do when you have a wonderful partner. Don't sweat the small stuff. Exactly. Simone, do you know that is the man who wrote that book was Benjamin's best friend? Richard Carlson wrote Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and he and Benjamin were best friends for 20 years before he died. Richard died on an airplane. He was our officiant at our wedding, and he died on an airplane. So, Benjamin and Richard had 20 years together. He didn't know. Richard was only 45 years old when he died suddenly. So we don't know. You guys, you're throwing away the best part of life by not getting this solved, and you don't even know it. And you will never get this time back. Never. It will not come back. You won't get it. These are the days, the hours, the months, the years of your life that you could be spending with an extraordinary man. You've got to take this seriously. There's nothing more serious in life except raising, I guess, your children. Once you have kids, you have to make sure you raise your children and you're there for them. But as far as doing what's the best and most beautiful thing for you, it's love. It's waking up every day and going to sleep at night knowing that you have your person and that your person has you, and that you're there for each other, not just for the good times, for all times, that no matter what happens, that person will be there for you. That there's nothing in life more important than you to them and them to you. Yeah. It's exciting to find love. And that's what we're going to remember in the end. That's the thing that matters. Not how much money we make, but it's really what, how much we loved in our lives and how fully, and how well. Like, something that's extremely important to me is not just having love, but I really want to believe that I loved my husband well, that he was well loved by me. I remember one day I was walking our dogs, and this woman, this neighbor, she looked at the dogs and she didn't say those are pretty dogs. She said the most beautiful thing to me. She said, "Your dogs look well cared for. Your dogs look well cared for." And that spoke so deeply to my heart. That spoke so deeply to my heart when she said that. Your dogs are well cared for. I would want people to look at Benjamin and say, your husband was well loved. You did a fine job of loving this man because he deserves it so much. He deserves it. Sherry, Benjamin and I were laughing the other day, or last night. Maybe it was even this morning. I don't know. But we were laughing. There's a great joke about a woman. A woman's walking down the street and she runs into a sorority sister from college that she hasn't seen in a long time. And this woman looks fabulous, like fabulous. And she says to her, "Oh my God, it's great to see you. You look amazing." And the woman says, "You're not going to," and then her friend says, "What have you been doing?" And the sorority sister says, "You're not going to believe this, but I met the most wonderful man." And her friend says, "Oh my gosh, where did you meet him?" And she said, "Well, this is the most incredible part. I met him on the street." And her friend says, "What street?" And it's like she's going to go and hang out on that street because that's where all the great guys are. It's not where you meet this person. Who cares? I heard a story today of a woman who met a guy, or last night on a call, of a woman who met a guy. She literally jumped in the water to save her dog that was drowning, and a man in a boat rescued her, and they're getting married. Hi, Annette. It's great to see you. So Yelena said, I started dating someone. He is nice, but he has too many financial obligations, so not much money for me or lifestyle. Should I stay or let him go? That's a tough question, Yelena. I mean, there's so many factors involved, and I would just, there's just so many factors involved. I mean, how does he make you feel? Have you dated a lot of men in the past who had financial problems? Is that a repeating pattern for you? If it is, then maybe you should walk away. I don't know, but if he's a great guy, if he makes you feel really wonderfully, you like him a lot, and, ask yourself, can you accept him? In today's world, 33% of women are making more money than their partners. So, Brenda, go to my webinar, I have a 45-minute webinar. Go to lisashield.com and just get some help, honey. You don't have to be out there alone going through this by yourself. There's not a reason in the world. Find, a great coach, whether it's me or someone else, and just, put yourself out there. And don't, get some help, get somebody who can help you gain healthy perspective so you can move forward. Simone met hers at the gym. He asked me if I am dating. I answered no, but I'm looking for a lover. Simone, I love you. Oh my God, that's brilliant. And here you are 12 years later. All right, everybody. Great call. Wonderful to see you all. Thank you for all the interaction. Please hit the like or the thumbs up or whatever. My little ego, it's the one thing I love is to get those little hearts and those thumbs up on my Facebook lives. They really mean a lot. It lets me know that you enjoyed this. All right, everybody. Lots and lots of love to everyone. Stay safe. Come back. Tell your friends about this. And I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.